Imagine waking up already behind before the day has even begun. The rent is due in a few days, the electricity bill cannot wait much longer, the bus fare has gone up again, and the refrigerator holds just enough food to make it through another day. Every decision feels urgent because every dollar has already been assigned a purpose. In this situation, buying the cheapest option seems like the only reasonable choice, yet those cheapest choices often become the most expensive over time. This is one of the quietest contradictions in modern economics. Poverty is not only the absence of money. It is also the presence of constant financial friction, where every decision carries a higher cost than it would for someone with greater financial security. Many people assume that financial hardship is simply a matter of earning too little. Income certainly matters, but income alone cannot explain why two households with similar earnings often experience completely different financial outcomes. One family gradually builds stability while another remains trapped in cycles of emergencies. The difference frequently lies in the hidden costs that accompany financial scarcity, costs that rarely appear on a paycheck but quietly accumulate through daily life. Economists sometimes describe this as the poverty premium. It is the extra amount that people with fewer resources end up paying simply because they have fewer options. Imagine someone who cannot afford to purchase a durable pair of shoes. They buy a cheaper pair that wears out after a few months, then purchase another inexpensive pair, and another after that. Over several years, the total amount spent exceeds what a single high-quality purchase would have cost in the first place. The immediate price was lower, but the long-term cost became much higher. The same pattern appears almost everywhere. A household without savings may be forced to borrow money for unexpected expenses, paying interest that would never have existed if an emergency fund had been available. Someone without access to affordable transportation may spend more on taxis or lose opportunities because reliable transportation is unavailable. Families living in poorly insulated housing often face higher utility bills because energy escapes through inefficient buildings. The less financial flexibility someone has, the more expensive ordinary life becomes. At first glance these examples seem unrelated, yet they all follow the same mathematical structure. When resources are limited, decisions are optimized for immediate survival rather than long-term efficiency. The future becomes less valuable because today's problem cannot be ignored. This is not irrational behavior. It is a rational response to limited choices. Behavioral economists have spent decades studying how scarcity changes human decision-making. One important discovery is that scarcity consumes mental bandwidth. When people constantly think about unpaid bills, overdue balances, or uncertain income, part of their attention remains occupied by those concerns. This reduces the mental capacity available for planning, learning, comparing options, or making complex financial decisions. Think of the human brain like a computer running multiple demanding programs at once. Even a powerful computer begins slowing down when too many processes compete for limited memory. Financial stress creates a similar effect. Decisions that appear simple from the outside become much harder when the mind is already overloaded by uncertainty. This helps explain why poverty is often misunderstood. Observers sometimes assume that poor financial decisions create poverty, while overlooking how poverty itself changes the quality of decision-making. Constant scarcity encourages short-term thinking because the environment rewards immediate solutions over distant benefits. Consider grocery shopping. A larger package may cost less per unit, but it requires more cash up front. A family with limited funds may purchase smaller quantities repeatedly because that is all today's budget allows. Over months or years, they spend considerably more for exactly the same amount of food. The higher long-term cost is not the result of poor mathematics. It is the result of limited liquidity. Liquidity is simply the ability to access money when it is needed. Wealth provides liquidity. Poverty restricts it. That single difference changes nearly every financial decision a person makes. Insurance offers another example. Households with higher incomes often purchase insurance that protects them from major financial shocks. Lower-income households may skip coverage because monthly premiums compete with essential expenses. When an emergency eventually occurs, the financial damage becomes dramatically larger than the premiums would have been. What appears to save money today may increase future costs substantially. The mathematics behind this process is surprisingly simple. Imagine two people facing the same unexpected expense. One has savings. The other does not. The first person pays immediately and moves on. The second borrows at high interest. Months later, the original expense has grown because interest compounds. The emergency itself may have lasted one day, but its financial consequences continue for years. Compound interest is often described as one of the greatest forces in finance because it allows money to grow over time. Yet compound interest is mathematically neutral. It does not care whether it is growing investments or growing debt. The same exponential process that rewards disciplined investing can quietly magnify financial hardship when borrowed money becomes unavoidable. History offers countless examples of this dynamic. During many economic downturns, households with substantial savings were able to purchase valuable assets at reduced prices, while financially constrained households were often forced to sell assets simply to cover immediate expenses. The exact same market conditions created opportunity for one group and hardship for another. The difference was not intelligence. It was financial resilience. Financial resilience is rarely built overnight. It develops gradually through consistent margins between income and expenses, manageable debt, emergency savings, and time. These buffers reduce the number of decisions made under pressure. They create space for thoughtful planning instead of constant reaction. There is also an invisible cost that receives far less attention. Time itself becomes more expensive when money is scarce. Someone with financial flexibility may solve problems by paying for convenience, faster transportation, reliable services, preventive healthcare, or quality equipment. Someone without those resources often pays with additional hours instead. Long commutes, repeated repairs, waiting in multiple lines, or replacing inexpensive products consume valuable time that could have been invested elsewhere. Over decades, these hours accumulate into years. Time lost cannot be recovered, making it one of the most expensive hidden costs associated with financial scarcity. Housing demonstrates another powerful example. Stable housing creates predictable expenses, stronger community connections, and reduced stress. Housing instability, by contrast, increases moving costs, transportation costs, employment disruptions, educational interruptions, and healthcare challenges. Each individual expense may appear manageable, but together they reinforce one another until escaping the cycle becomes increasingly difficult. Notice that none of these examples rely on dramatic events. Most emerge from ordinary daily decisions. That is precisely why they remain largely invisible. Financial systems are shaped not only by extraordinary moments but also by thousands of routine choices influenced by available resources. This perspective also changes how we think about wealth. Wealth is often imagined as luxury, expensive homes, or impressive lifestyles. In reality, one of wealth's greatest advantages is optionality. It provides the freedom to choose the lower long-term cost even when the upfront price is higher. It allows patience to replace urgency. This distinction matters because income and wealth are not identical. Income measures how much money flows into a household. Wealth measures the resources already available to absorb shocks, create opportunities, and reduce future costs. Two people earning identical salaries may experience completely different financial realities depending on the assets, savings, and obligations they carry. Understanding this difference shifts attention away from isolated purchases and toward systems. Financial outcomes are rarely determined by one dramatic decision. They are more often shaped by thousands of interconnected choices interacting with mathematical principles over long periods. The hidden cost of poverty is therefore not simply paying more money. It is paying with time, flexibility, attention, opportunity, health, and future options. Each small disadvantage may seem insignificant alone, yet together they create powerful feedback loops that reinforce one another. Recognizing these patterns is not about assigning blame or offering simplistic solutions. Every household faces unique circumstances shaped by local economies, education, employment opportunities, health, and unexpected events. Financial systems are complex, and individual experiences differ widely. Still, understanding the mechanics behind these hidden costs provides a clearer picture of why financial hardship often persists even among hardworking people. Perhaps the most valuable lesson is that economics is not only about numbers on spreadsheets. It is about the conditions under which decisions are made. When choice is constrained, mathematics begins producing different outcomes. The same markets, the same products, and the same financial rules affect people differently depending on the resources they already possess. In the end, being poor is often expensive not because every decision is wrong, but because limited options make efficient decisions harder to reach. The hidden costs accumulate quietly, one purchase, one bill, one emergency, and one compromise at a time. Understanding these mechanics encourages a more thoughtful view of personal finance, public policy, and economic systems, reminding us that lasting financial stability is built not through a single breakthrough, but through reducing friction, expanding choices, and allowing time to work in our favor rather than against us. One way to understand this idea is to imagine two people standing at the beginning of the same marathon. They face the same finish line and the same distance, yet one begins with a heavy backpack while the other carries almost nothing. Even if both walk with equal determination and discipline, the added weight changes how much energy is required with every step. Financial systems often work in a similar way. The mathematics of interest rates, inflation, opportunity cost, and risk apply equally to everyone, but the starting conditions determine how difficult it becomes to benefit from those rules. Inflation provides another example of this hidden burden. As prices rise over time, households with savings, productive assets, or investments may see part of their purchasing power protected. Households living from one paycheck to the next rarely have that flexibility. Every increase in food, transportation, housing, or healthcare costs immediately reduces the amount available for everything else. Inflation is therefore not experienced equally. The percentage may be the same, but the practical consequences differ dramatically depending on financial resilience. This difference becomes especially visible during unexpected economic disruptions. A temporary reduction in income may represent an inconvenience for one household but a financial emergency for another. The gap between inconvenience and crisis is often measured not by income alone, but by preparation, liquidity, and available options. Financial resilience should therefore be viewed less as a destination and more as a gradual reduction in vulnerability. Every additional layer of savings, every reduction in unnecessary debt, every improvement in financial knowledge, and every increase in planning creates slightly more flexibility. None of these changes eliminates uncertainty, but together they reduce the number of decisions that must be made under pressure. When viewed through this lens, wealth becomes less about displaying success and more about increasing stability. It creates the ability to delay gratification without sacrificing necessities, to respond calmly instead of urgently, and to make decisions based on long-term value rather than immediate survival. Those advantages compound quietly over years, often remaining invisible until they are compared with the costs of constant financial scarcity.